The reason you're here is because you've responded to a post that I made on Facebook and promoted, specifically for women who are dealing with trying to conceive struggles, PCOS, recurrent miscarriage, infertility in general. That could be, male factor, possibly even if it's your husband or partner who has the struggle. It could be you. It could be unexplained infertility. There are a variety of things that can kind of put us in this position to end up in a place where we may be seeking out a group like this. So I wanted to give you a little background of me. My name is Lauren. I have been married for a little over 5 years, and I got married a little later. I was 27. And my husband and I started trying to have a family legitimately like the week of our honeymoon. He was almost 30. We were just ready. We weren't joking around. We were like, yeah, let's go. So we started trying, and a couple months passed, nothing. We just figured, bad timing. We're newlyweds, no big deal. 6 months, a year and a half. We hit about that 18-month mark, and I was really concerned. And I was really scared. I just didn't know what to do. And, I had struggled with irregular periods my entire life. I had struggled with my weight since I hit puberty. I had struggled with, acne issues and, chin plucky hair issues. Like anyone with PCOS, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And just all these things. And I had always kind of wondered if I had PCOS, but I had never tried to have children before. I had spent my life trying to avoid pregnancy. So I was like, what's going on here? And I really didn't know where to go. And so I started working with my OB, and they had me track, and temp chart and do all of that stuff. 3 months I spend taking my temperature at 5:15 every morning, and what it proved is that I don't ovulate. So we knew that pretty quickly. And then I had the hysterosalpingogram, the dye test done, and my uterus is slightly misshapen, but nothing that would preclude a pregnancy. But I had a partially blocked tube that seemed to flush out. And then, there was no real explanation for things. So because of the lack of ovulating and because of that slightly misshapen uterus, they referred me to a specialist. So I started seeing my reproductive endocrinologist, and we had our consults in the fall of 2013 was our first one. And so that was 2 years after we got married, sorry. And we figured, okay, we'll go ahead and do the consult. And, we went into an unmedicated IUI cycle with the exception of a trigger shot right away, and nothing. It was not successful. And we did a medicated round right after that, not successful. And then I went back a few months later after the holidays, and we were preparing for another medicated round, and I started popping up with these crazy ovarian cysts, and they weren't sure quite if they were cysts or endometriomas, so we kind of watched that, and I did some hormone and drug therapy to shrink, and, came off of that, and I just thought, I need a break. So we took a break until the fall of 2014. And then in September, end of August, beginning of September, started another round of medicated IUI. I did gonal-F injections with Femara and with the trigger shot. And I got pregnant, and we were thrilled, but my HCG level was really low. I think my first beta was like a 27. I was just barely a clinical pregnancy. But it was doubling and at the proper rate, so we were really hopeful. And then at 6 weeks, I lost that pregnancy. And, that was devastating. And anyone who's been through this, whether you've experienced a loss, an actual physical loss or not, you experience a loss every month. Every single month you experience a loss because you're losing that sense of hope or promise or expecting that things are going to happen for you. And it's devastating. So we kind of weren't sure what to do. And so it was the beginning of October that we lost that pregnancy. maybe midway through October. I just know it was the same week that Gilmore Girls came on Netflix. And I was so grateful because I watched Gilmore Girls and Fringe on binge mode for like a week and a half. Because I was so devastated. And I was a teacher, so I was trying to function at work and with my students and then be present with my husband and like hold it together, and it was really hard. And so we actually decided to go. I obviously took that month of October off, but as soon as I started my cycle in November and I had a period, we went back and we tried again, because of that whole like sometimes you're more fertile after a loss. So we did another medicated round in November. I found out right after Thanksgiving. It was the first week of December. I found out I was pregnant again, and my betas were better. I was in the high 60s. They were doubling at the appropriate rate again. So we scheduled our viability ultrasound. Everything was good. I felt really confident and really happy. And you know, we're approaching the Christmas season and just so hopeful. And we went for a viability ultrasound mid-December, and you know, they saw the sac, and they saw the tiny little baby, the crown rump length and everything. We saw that, and then there wasn't a heartbeat, which wasn't unusual. I was measuring, they said, you know, a little bit behind, so you know, they gave us a lot of hope and just said, you know, we're going to reschedule in 10 days and we'll come back and we'll see, we'll find that heartbeat and then we'll release you to your OB. So we waited through Christmas. My husband lost his job. We lost our insurance. We went back for another ultrasound. The baby had gotten bigger, but still measuring behind. No heartbeat. So they were like, okay, you know, we're going to play the cautious side of this. So, we'll give it another shot at taking, you know, a heartbeat reading, in another week. And, you know, if things aren't going to work out, then your body's going to start recognizing that. So we were scheduled to go for our ultrasound on a Monday morning, the beginning of January, the end of the first week of that first week of January. And, I was just praying in bed the night before, and then I just felt it. I just knew. And the pain started, and, you know, I just knew when we went in the next day and we could see the bleed, on the ultrasound, and I miscarried at home after that, and it was brutal. You know, we were 10 weeks, almost 10 weeks at that point. And I just wanted it so bad, you know. And I know you know, because you're here for the same reason. So, this is related to the reason I'm doing this group, because at that point, we were just so devastated. And my poor husband and we just didn't know what to do anymore. And our next step really was IVF, and we're not there yet. It's very expensive, and we haven't been financially prepared to do that quite yet. I live in a state with no infertility mandated coverage for insurance. So we decided that we would just take a break. And on the other side of this, you know, keep in mind, we've been going through infertility treatments for close to 4 years at this point, and the stress and my PCOS issues, which really make it very easy for me to gain weight, and depression issues and everything else just caught up with me. And since the time we got married, I had gained about 65 pounds, which I had worked pretty hard to lose a good chunk of that prior to getting married and meeting my husband. And like I said, I've struggled with my weight since puberty, and you know, these PCOS issues we figured out with my infertility diagnosis, like we were able to really pinpoint that was a problem for me. And so, you know, you wrap that up with grief and loss and depression, and pretty soon I'm like drowning in a sea of junk food and cherry Coke and just things that feel good in the moment to numb the pain. And, you know, medicate with food is my MO, and I've done that since I was a little girl. And so I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And, you know, 3 months later, March of 2015, I step on the scale at 225. I'm 5 feet tall. And I'm built with broad hips and shoulders, and, you know, I'm chesty, like I'm never going to be a toothpick, and that's fine. But I was just desperate. I was desperate. And I was so depressed I couldn't get out of bed. Like I said, I was a teacher, so I was just like going through the motions every day. My students were suffering. My marriage was suffering. I just cried all the time. You know, I'd wake up crying in the middle of the night about how I missed my babies, and my husband would cry. And I mean, it was just horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And I was so lost. And I would just cry out to God for comfort and peace and understanding and hope. And it just wasn't there. It never came. And, you know, a lot of it was because I was so numbed out with depression, and I was numbing my body with, you know, really poor nutrition choices, and my mind was clouded, and all of these things were so hard. So one day I finally just said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm either going to go get checked in at a mental institution and take up residency there for a couple weeks because I'm that close to just feeling like I'm done, or I'm going to make a really serious change in my life. And I made a change. I reached out to a friend who had been doing the same thing, and I said, you know, I need to make a change. And I had to do that. I had to do that. It was critical for me to do that. So I reached out to Erin, who is my coach, and I said, I need your help. I need you to help me figure out what to do. And so she did. And she got me hooked up with a program. She got me hooked up with a nutrition plan. She got me hooked up with daily dose of superfood Shakeology. And I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a month. I'm going to give it a month and see what happens. And in that month, because I did it with a support group like the one I'm offering here, I found a group of women who loved me unconditionally, who were there to support me every day, who were there to hold me accountable to the fact that I wanted to be better and do better. I learned that I couldn't depend on someone else to save me. My husband, as much as he loves me, God bless him, he couldn't save me. And my doctor couldn't save me. My family couldn't save me. I'm a Christian. I believe that God has paved the way for my ultimate salvation, but even he wanted me to figure this out and to grow from it, and to take what I was experiencing and turn it into good, turn it into lemonade. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do now, and I've been doing this for 19 months. I've lost 45 pounds, and I'm still going. I've got another 25 or so to go. I work out every day, 6 out of 7 days a week. Sundays are usually active recovery. I eat on plan. I eat with portions in mind. I eat clean. I live about an 80-20 lifestyle, sometimes a little more 90-10, but 80-20 usually. So yeah, I still eat pizza sometimes and chocolate, and every once in a while I'll sneak in that cherry Coke. But my level of joy has increased profoundly, and you know, we don't have children yet. And I'm not sure when that's going to happen, and I'm not sure what the story will be. But I do know that I don't have to be defined by my circumstances. And I don't have to be defined by what I see as a limitation sometimes. And I don't have to live stuck in a place of darkness and lack of hope. And I don't have to sit on the couch every day and be inactive. And I don't have to let depression take me over. I don't have to feel winded going up the stairs. I don't have to miss out on outdoor activities because I can't do it. I don't have to have my back hurt all day long. I don't have to hide from people. I don't have to do that. It is possible for me to take control of my life. And I am here to tell you today that it is possible for you to take control of yours. And it's very difficult to do on your own. A lot of us make resolutions to go to the gym, or we say, I'm going to eat better, and 3 days later, we're off that wagon. It's because you need support. And you need what I needed, which is a coach. And I'm here to love you. This is what I do for a job. I left my teaching job to do this because I love helping people. And I especially want to help women like me who are lost and feeling like they are in darkness. Not because I can save you, but because I can give you the tools to save yourself. And I can give you an environment that fosters focusing on joy and focusing on those small wins every day that help you realize you're capable and strong. I want you to do this because I know it works. Because I have a strong belief in the products. And we're not talking about wraps and crap and pills and who knows what else, patches. We're talking nutrition, portion control, clean eating, simple exercise you can do at home in 30 minutes a day. Shakeology, which is superfood packed, nutrient packed goodness, whole food nutrition. That's what that is. There's no gimmick. There's no sales pitch. It is me telling you that I couldn't do it on my own and that I needed people. And it is a support system that is there unconditionally for you every single day. You are worth it. You are special. You do not deserve to live trapped in a life of feeling like you have no hope. I don't know what your future will bring in terms of having children, or if you are experiencing secondary infertility, I don't know that you'll have more. But I do know that you are not meant to walk this path alone. And I do know that you are the only one with the power to make it happen. But I also know that it's really hard to find the tools by yourself. And that having a cheerleader in your corner every step of the way makes all the difference in the world. So I'm going to ask you to send me a friend request on Facebook at Lauren Ann Voorhees. It's in the description and in the post that's below this. I'm also going to ask you to shoot me an email if you want to know more. And this didn't answer all your questions at passionandpurposefitness@gmail.com. I'll send you a message or an email back right away. And we can talk. We can talk about your situation. We can talk about your story. I want to know you. I want to know what you've been through. There is power in solidarity. There is power in community. Let's do this together. And we can talk about your goals and your needs and what program would help you and fit your lifestyle and your budget. Let's make it work. Let's work together. Let's hold hands and do this because you shouldn't have to do it alone. All right. I love you already. I want you to know that. I'm here because I love you and because I believe that God is putting you in my path for a reason. And I don't believe that this stuff happens by accident. So let's go ahead and talk and see what we can do. And we're going to start our group up week after next. Let me actually confirm that date for you because this is the first time I'm doing a group like this. I'm actually really excited about it. So let me find that date for you. We're going to start October 17th. That's when our group is going to start. We're going to work together starting October 17th. Next week, this group will be open. Anyone will be able to come in and see this video and get some tips that I'll be posting and some ideas for recipes. And then we kick off on the 17th. So if we start talking in the next few days, you will definitely have your program in time to start this with me, and we'll do it together 30 days. And then after that, I'm your coach for as long as you want me to be. You can keep working that program. You can keep doing that nutrition plan for as long as you want. We talk more about that. All right. Thanks for joining me. I just feel blessed to be here and blessed to have you. So thank you. Have a good day.